All right, guys. So this is how my life changed. Like changed from rock bottom to where I'm at now. It was about junior year, and this is a story not many people know. This is how I created Been Blessed. Like this is what completely changed my life. And Been Blessed isn't a huge thing or anything, but it means more than just Been Blessed. It's more than just a clothing brand to me, and this is how it changed my life. So I remember junior year, I was posting a lot on TikTok, doing like thirst traps, stupid stuff, backflipping, like making funny content. I really enjoyed. I got a lot of hate from it, but I also got a lot of love from it. And I remember people at school started to recognize me. So this is like going into junior year. People were like gathering around me, asking me to do backflips, dumb stuff. I don't remember. It was super cringy at the time, but I mean, I was a young kid having fun, living his life to the fullest. So I remember that I started blowing up a bunch, and I had a couple like TikTok famous people following me, and they were commenting on my stuff, and I was kind of letting it get to my head a little bit. I was like, "Dang, bro, I'm low key going up," you know. And then that's when I fell into the wrong crowd. I feel like I've always had, or I used to have, this mentality where it's like I'm a people pleaser, you know, like I have to make sure that no one thinks I'm weird or no one thinks I'm different, and I want to be cool, I want to be popular, I want people to like me, da da da. And I still have some of those traits, but to an extent, which I'll get into later. But anyways, I started falling into the wrong crowd, and falling into really bad habits. And I remember that's literally the downfall of where I was at. I feel like I was at the happiest stage of my life, and I just let high school do high school to you. You know, I always told everyone, no, I'll never smoke a vape. No, I'll never smoke weed, da da da. And I was so passionate about that because I knew who I was. And I was like, dude, I can never imagine myself doing that. Well, a couple months later, I start, smoking nicotine, vaping, smoking weed, every day, every night. And I completely lose sight of who I am. And I was really, 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 really depressed. And I started using that as a crutch almost. I'm really depressed. I'm going to keep smoking weed. I can't sleep at night. I'm going to smoke weed. And I literally lost who I was as a person. Like, I was literally brain dead for months and months and months and months. I was doing stupid things in school. I was doing horrible in school. I had no goals. No goals. And that's not like me because I've always had goals growing up and I've always worked toward my goals. And now I'm back at that mentality now. But I had no goals at all and I was so depressed. I wanted to kill myself. I really did. And it's because I had nothing going for me. And I just kept pushing myself farther down that path. And a couple people might know that I was smoking weed and stuff, or they might have thought it was cool on the outside, but I was really going through it, because I've always had big hopes and dreams for my life. And I've always known that I want to do something great. But at that time and that point, I didn't know what I was going to do. And I feel like we've all had that rock bottom, I want to kill myself. I was really serious. I remember one time I was driving it was on the freeway, it was raining, and this is when I was still smoking weed. And I remember I would have these outbursts. So now I don't have these outbursts. Yeah, I might get upset a lot, but I was really suicidal, like seriously. And I feel like for me, weed played into that a million times out of a million times, like 1,000%. Because it was that's the only thing that I had going in my life. I didn't have hobbies. I didn't have sports. I had weed. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to get done with work. I'm going to go smoke. Oh my gosh, I can't. Like I wasn't working out. I wasn't doing anything. The only thing I looked forward to is weed. So when you don't have things to look forward to, where do you think my mental was? And I remember God saved me. This was like, I tell people this story all the time. I still don't believe it. I really don't. And it's my story. But it did happen. I remember it was raining and I have a Mustang. And I was like, dude, I'm so done. Like, I'm so done. I was just letting Satan completely get into my head and my mental. And I was like, I'm so done. I'm going to end it right here. I closed my eyes and I was like, okay. And I was full throttle in the rain. I saw about 3 people, maybe like half a mile ahead of me, so they weren't that far, especially with the speeds I was going. And I was like, all right, this is it. It's rainy. Keep in mind, it's nighttime. Keep in mind. And my car already has bad traction in the rain, so like one wrong move is what I was waiting for. So I full throttle, I close my eyes, and I count to 10. And I had asked God, I said, if I can count to 10, and you still want me here, keep me here. And again, keep in mind, I had seen 3 different cars. There was some a little bit forward. They weren't like insanely close to me by any chance. But after that 10 seconds, I had my eyes closed. I was like, don't be a baby. Do it. You chose this. I open my eyes, and it feels like I haven't even moved my car. And I for 10 seconds, full throttle, like I was at least going 130. And when I open my eyes, no cars, no anything, and the light is green. Because if that light was red, I would have been done. Like I would have been done. I don't think you guys realize that. In the rain, 130, and if there was any cars, I would have died. But then I still kept going down a kind of bad path, but I knew that I was like, dang, I do need to make a change. But that's how a lot of people think is, oh, I'm going to make a change. I could quit tomorrow. I could quit today. I'm going to start this tomorrow. And guess what they all have in common? They never do it. On a handful of fingers, I can say that that's how many people I know have quit smoking or have actually tried to better themselves with smoking. And I know a good amount of people who smoke. Only this many people, about this many people I can name, have quit. So it's insanely hard, and that's how I was. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna quit. I ended up going down a pretty bad path. I was still super depressed. I had no goals. The only thing I was looking forward to was smoking. And then I don't really want to touch too much on this subject. This might be for another time, but I dabbled in something else. It wasn't anything hardcore. It is a psychedelic. It's grown from the ground, so you guys can probably infer. But I remember I had a 1 week phase. I was doing a lot. It was my breaking point. I wanted to end it. I couldn't be happy sober. I couldn't do this. I couldn't do that. And then on my last time, I woke up at, I think it was 6 a.m. in the morning. So I'd taken them the night before. And I just felt God's love. And like, keep in mind, this whole time I had been really disconnected from God. Because I know what I was doing was wrong. I had a full-blown identity crisis. I literally was so sad because I know that the younger me, oh my gosh, he was full of love. He was full of happiness. He was full of good morals. And now my morals were still good and everything else, but I was so discouraged and I just wasn't me. So I woke up in the morning and I went on my roof, and it was a beautiful sunrise, like the most beautiful sunrise of all time. And I saw a fox. I saw a fox run across the street, and I don't really remember what the point of that was or what clicked in my brain, but it was a beautiful fox, and it was a beautiful sunrise. And I was like, okay, I need to change. I instantly dropped weed right there. Instantly dropped weed. And the last thing I was doing, that was just a 1 week phase. I was really stupid, and people can go against me. That's my beliefs. I don't think that that stuff works for my life, and I feel like for me morally, I feel it's wrong. Different people have their own copes. Different people have their own things they do. But for me, I knew what I was doing was wrong. Like 1,000% wrong. And that day I broke the chain. I remember then I started getting all my goals back. I started wanting to work out. I started praying again. I started reading the Bible app. I was highlighting verses. I was connecting. And that's when the BeenBlessed idea came to me. But I was so ashamed of all the things that I've done. I was like, dude, I can't push a Christian clothing brand. This is going into my senior year. So senior year, I had nothing. I was good. I was clean off everything. I had actually quit Nick too. I had quit vaping. It did take me about 2 months after the weed, but that's when I was like, okay, I've built a resume now. I've quit. I know that I've done right. I can build a brand. And I remember sleeping at night and I was like, I want to build a brand that promotes Jesus because God saved me. Yeah, he didn't like pull me out of the sky when I'm flying at 1,000,000 miles per hour out of a plane, but he saved me. And you can feel inside when you know that someone saves you and someone is there for you. And then a lot of different things happened senior year, but I started BeenBlessed, and I was like, I was so focused on, dude, people aren't gonna want to support me. People look at what I've done. People knew me as the kid who with the box mod, the big vape. People knew me as a kid who was a crazy smoker. I was always high, but I was like, I'm not doing this for them. I'm doing this for the man above. Because the one thing I want to do is, and I know I'm not perfect, still to this day, I still cuss. I still make inappropriate jokes sometimes. I mean, I'm 19. I'm not perfect. You're supposed to strive to be the best you can be, but I still mess up all the time. But I know that I don't care what anyone judges me for, because only God can judge me. And I knew I was going to do something beneficial with this. So it came to me one night. I was like, oh, what should I name it? I've been thinking about it for weeks. I was like, dude, I want to start a clothing brand, because this is where my whole mentality started. Dang, I want to try everything while I can. And it rung to me. I knew it was like blessed. Okay. Like, okay, something with blessing in it. Been blessed. I've been blessed. Look at my situation. I've been blessed. Been blessed. Been blessed. And that's when we freaking made it happen. Been blessed is so much more than just a clothing brand name. And I may have said this in some other videos, but guys, you've been blessed by waking up today. You know, I've been blessed by getting through that and becoming who I am today. Whatever problems you've gone through and came out on top, you've been blessed. You woke up today, you had food, you've been blessed. You have a car, you've been blessed. If you don't have a car, you're still making it work, you've been blessed. Any good things, bad things, you've still been blessed. And that's what I love about this brand, is that it's so much more than just a name. And not only am I trying to make cool modern clothing that I think people like and that I like myself, but it's also spreading the word. And every piece of clothing has an individual meaning. Like, there is nothing that makes me happier than that. And I love seeing people rock my clothes. They say they love the design. They love the bracelets. And it's spreading a good word. And it's not like I feel like I owe that to God, but I'm showing out for God. You know, I'm trying to put a name in this generation. This generation is horrible. It's so hard to put God's name out there. So that's what really changed my life. That was a really deep and personal moment. And Been Blessed did change my life. From there, my mind just opened up completely. I'm like, okay, now I have a clothing brand. I can do whatever I want. Now I have a servicing business. Okay, I can do that. And now I want to make YouTube. No, I can do that. And the specific verse that people will hear. This is one of the most popular verses in the Bible. Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I rely on that. I believe I can do anything because Christ has me. If I have $1 in my bank and I feel like I'm home, if I go homeless and I have $1 in my bank, I'm not worried because I know I can do all things through Christ. I'll come back. This YouTube channel, I want to make it big. I want to make super cool content. I love video editing. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I have the clothing brand, Been Blessed. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. You guys really got to think of that, because a lot of people think that you can just do these things on your own. You can't. And that's why you'll fail. And the only way I quit weed, quit smoking, quit all that, and start my new lifestyle is because I can do all things through Christ. Without God, I would not have been where I'm at today, and I promise you that. And again, I'm not a perfect Christian. I still have all my flaws. But I know that I've worked on so much, and I'm so proud of how far I've come. And people judge me all the time. Dude, you remember how crazy you used to be? It's kind of crazy you got a Christian clothing brand. Yeah, bro. But does that affect me? No. Because only God can judge me. And only He truly knows what me, what you, what the next person has been through. You never know what people go through. You never know how, you would never know that I made that crazy change. You never know that was my past, that I didn't want to be alive. But look where we're at now. We're grinding. I'm 19. I'm loving my life. I have 200 pairs of swim trunks on the way. This is my biggest gamble ever. And I worked so hard on these swim trunks, and I've been blessed to be able to do that. I'm telling y'all, like, it just gets me ecstatic, bro. It just gets me ecstatic, bro. Like, y'all could really do anything you guys want. You guys have been blessed. And I'm not even trying to promote or anything like that, but it's more than just 2 words. I don't even make money off Been Blessed. I break even every single time. Every single time. I'm putting in hundreds of dollars into the bracelets, hundreds of dollars into the packaging, and I'm doing pre-orders, this and that. I'm not making no money. You guys got to realize that you've been blessed and you can do anything you want as long as you have God on your team. People think God is a genie. He is not a genie. When you pray, people think if it doesn't come true, they say, oh, I prayed, it didn't come true. So say you go to the gas station, right? So I physically drive to the gas station and I don't put gas in my car, but I went to the gas station and I drove out and now my car's not working. Whose fault is that? Whose fault is that? If you're praying to God and you're not getting into the word, your prayers aren't going to come true because you're not putting in work. It's a two people connection. If you go to McDonald's and you're hungry and don't get food and leave, whose fault is that? That's yours. You have to be consistent with God. You have to be consistent with God. And we all have problems with that. I have problems with that sometimes. I don't really like reading. That's just me. But at least every day I'm checking the daily verse. I'm not scrolling on any Christian TikToks. I'm watching it. I indulge in the word at least twice a week. Guys, God is not a genie. I don't understand when people tell me that. Guys, you guys got to realize that you've been blessed to do anything that you can, but you can only do things with God. And that's where real success comes. Because, guys, again, I'm never worried in life now. I was the overthinking. I just read a verse today, and it said, "Let God take care of your overthinking. It will destroy your peace." I don't know the exact verse, but that's so true. We're always worried about what's gonna happen. Oh my gosh, what's next in life? Stop worrying and trust God. And honestly, that's what being blessed means to me. I've been blessed to not have to worry about anything. I'm just working and I'm doing my part and I'm trying my absolute best, and that's all you can do. That is all you can do. But a lot of you guys aren't trying and you're praying to God. What do you think's going to happen? Nothing, because you're not putting in the effort as well. God is not a genie. You have to help and work with him. It is your life. You have to put in effort. It can't just be God. You can believe in him all you want, and you can acknowledge that he's there. But if you're not consistent with God and you don't truly trust in God, what is he to you? Why tell people you believe in God if you're not consistent with him and actually believe that he's working in your life? But then you blame him for anything bad that happens when you're not putting in the work yourself. Guys, I got fired from Sky Zone 2 weeks ago. That was the best thing that ever happened to me. Guess how many work opportunities I got? I worked a week and a half straight, no days off, with my own business. That was not, I had not had a week like that ever. I made the most money in a week that I ever had. But guess what? I was trying. And I was praying. I'm relying on God, but I'm also working myself. You can't just do things yourself. You can try and work as hard as you want. You might get some success. But the real success is when God has your back. And I've been blessed to realize this. And I can truly say I've been blessed. We all have our flaws. We all have things we're going through. But you got to realize everything is a blessing and God has your back. I prayed to him right before I made this. I said, Lord, please let them know that please let them perceive the message I'm trying to put out. I'm not a preacher, guys. But again, BeenBlessed is so much more than a clothing brand. I hate when people just say, oh yeah, bro, that's a Christian clothing brand. I remember how I used to be. You don't remember how I used to be. I worked so hard to get through that. And I'm working so hard now to do everything I can to be the best version of myself I can be. And you know why I'm not stressing? Because I know God got me. I know God got me. If you look up, there are so many verses in the Bible talking about blessed is the person that boom. Blessed is the person that boom. I'm trying to strive to be all of that. Because I truly feel blessed. We are all so blessed and we don't realize it. We are so capable in so many ways. And that's really how God changed my life. And that's why I can now say that I've been blessed. And that's what being blessed means to me. It's what being blessed should mean to you as well, because you've been blessed. Every person watching this, it could be zero, it could be every person in the world. Everyone has been blessed in their own way. Everyone has had their trials and failures, and they've got through it. You've been blessed. I know there was some things that you went through and you thought they were impossible to get through, but you got through them. That wasn't just on your own. But that's what being blessed means to me. That's what my brand means to me. And that's what life is right now. Life is amazing because I'm taking for everything as it is. And I'm loving my life so freaking much, man, because I know that God got me. If I could have lost my job and been like, dang, dude, I'm going to be a loser, man. I don't know what to do. But instead, I just started up in it. I just started even going harder on myself. I started working every day. I was still making content every day. I'm going harder. I'm trying to get as many work opportunities as possible. Because I know God got me. You should never have to worry, because you should know that God has your back. But you got to be consistent with him. Say you have a therapist. Just because you buy the therapy session does not mean you're going to get better if you don't go. If you have a therapist, you got to go to get better, right? If you can't have a gym membership and not go and expect to get muscles, you got to go. So go to God and realize that you've been blessed. That's what been blessed means to me, and it makes me so happy. And that's how he really did change my life. And it's only up from here, guys. I'm loving life right now. And guys, the new drop is going to be crazy. I hope to see all y'all in the swim trunks. I don't make any money off my drops, but I love seeing people wear clothes that actually have meaning. And I put my own heartfelt time and dedication into making cool clothes and actually giving unique symbols. I just love doing this, y'all. And I'm not big, I'm not a celebrity, my brand is still small, but I'm loving it because people love it too. I love seeing people in my stuff. It's inspiring. And that's how God changed my life, and how BeenBlessed changed my life. Completely turned my life around, the complete 360. I literally thought, okay, I'm going to be a loser for the rest of my life. Boom, God comes in, turns the lights on in the dark. I'm a complete different person. He renews me. He renews me. He took all that. I feel like I literally felt the sin drained from my body. But you can't just expect God to do that too. You got to work on it yourself. You can't expect to quit smoking if you keep buying a new vape. God's not going to throw it away. No one can come save you. You guys got to realize that. Except for God. Only God can save you. And you guys got to work together. But that's how BeenBlessed changed my life. And that's where I'm at now. And that's how my life completely changed. All glory to God. I love y'all. Stay tuned for more content. And make sure to pray today.